What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. It's been a while, but I kind of wanted to go through a state of the community video, if you will. And let me just start with two things. Number one, if you're waiting for a game to defeat Madden, that may never happen. It's just where we are. Number two, if you think every football game, that includes past and present, should be compared to Madden, in a way, you are wrong. So a lot of people look at my channel as a continual negative commentary of Madden. But to be fair, Madden is in the state it's in my opinion, due to a lack of criticism. I think there were far too many people in the community willing to exchange not criticizing Madden in exchange for EA promotion. And that's not directly speaking to the Game Changer program, but rather people in the community that were taking MUT packs or MUT cards or promotions or game copies, whatever the case may have been. Those people, in my opinion, not helping push the game to a better place is part of the reason the game is so stale and repetitive and negatively accepted right now. I just did a series, 25 plays. Maybe 3 of them could be viewed as acceptable from a simulation football standpoint. If you kind of extrapolate those numbers, it means out of 100 plays, possibly 9 or 10 would be acceptable. That's not me being negative. That's me showing the state of this game. Now, me being negative would be when companies approached me, and that includes EA, as a matter of fact, not providing feedback to help them create a better game. I've always done that. Because it's not about promoting anything. It's about helping make each game what the community wants based on 10 plus years of feedback and playing sports games. And the reality is any game that gets better, including Madden, has the ability to improve other games because they really modify the standard of what we expect from a football title. Access Football just did this with roster sharing, draft classes. Maximum Football just did this with a logo editor. Madden has done this for years with graphics and in some cases presentation. So if I were to just sit here and show you guys all the flaws of these games and not work with the companies as they approached me, that's being negative. And to that point, I've said this before, just because a football game comes out doesn't mean that it's ready to have breakdowns and comparisons to Madden, because in many times they have so many issues, you can't get to the point where we are with Madden to do these breakdowns and show logic issues in players. The problem is, though, if the companies would rest on that gameplay, that's when you start to have a problem. And that's where EA kind of breaks the mold, because they do rest on their gameplay. They do have continued legacy issues from year in and year out. But while this happens, they continue, as recent as last year, to claim that this game can be a learning tool for both pro and high school football players. And if we can all agree that this year, at least based on Metacritic, has been one of the worst received Maddens, if we could argue and accept that maybe this year is the year that Madden has truly found itself in a hole, then we can come to the agreement that it has to get out of this hole. And the only way that you can get out of a hole is to stop digging. Madden refuses. EA refuses to stop digging this hole that they're in. They just continue to get deeper. Deleted forum posts. Locked forum posts. Deleted tweets. I mean, there is community backlash across the board for a game that once tried to appeal to everyone, putting in competitive, arcade game modes. You actually have done the exact opposite of what your intention was. You've isolated all those players and frustrated every one of them along the way. You have competitive players exposing game issues in tournaments on national TV. You've got sim gamers frustrated with these legacy issues you've talked about. You've got MUT players now that feel the game cards are overdone, overpriced, and repetitive. You know, if nothing else, it's imperative that we learn from where Madden is right now and make sure that no other games that we play or buy or support ever fall into this trap, but rather find what we as a community want in a game, express that to those developers, and help them to create an experience that allows us to have that with their own unique vision. There is no perfect game. No developer is going to make the perfect game for you or for me or any of us. But the only way we can get the product that we want is by discussing the issues that we have now, what we don't have in the products on the market, and when we get those products, explain constructively what our criticisms are and what our expectations had been. And not doing that in Madden as a whole community, in my opinion, no fault to anyone that watches commentators, but rather the commentators ourselves. We did not do a good enough job in making sure EA knew the problems that we had in the areas that needed to be addressed. And it's gotten to the point now where the game is not only not being fixed, the game cannot be patched enough. And they continue to, in a way, ignore those issues by promoting the product. And I don't expect them not to promote Madden, but I do expect them to take some type of accountability for where this game has actually been left this year. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. You know that I'll be back very shortly with more commentary.